Hey everybody, it's Casey hanging out with you on the Wall to Wall Country Show on this Wednesday. Getting closer and closer to Christmas. I'm excited. But hey, we have some business to take care of first before we get to taking a break for the holidays. And as you know, the interviews continue here on the show each and every week. Excited to have anywhere from great classic artists to some of the new and upcoming artists. And today, that's who we've got on our show today. So excited to have this guy. Already got a lot under his belt in the few years he's been in the business. Got some great music out there, and we're going to talk to him about that in just a second. But first, please make welcome to my guest of the show today here on Wall to Wall Country, Mr. Payton Smith. Hey, Payton, how are you?
Hey, Casey, how are you?
I am awesome. Getting ready for the big Christmas holiday, but how are you guys doing down there in Nashville?
We're good. You know, it's starting to get a little colder now. We're supposed to have snowfall in a couple days, and we're looking forward to it. So I'm excited. It's always a great time of year.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, we've already had a couple of inches here and there of snow in the past week or two,
Yeah.
So it's starting to look a lot like Christmas. Anyway.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But, so Payton, you're kind of new to the industry, but you got some big guns backing you up a little bit. But what I'd like to do is go back to the very beginning, because your beginning kind of is interesting. It's not the typical, I'm going to Nashville and make a name for myself. You kind of like stumbled on a rainbow, sort of. Why don't you go back and tell our fans a little bit about how you got to where you're at in the short period of time you got there?
Yeah, so I came here on vacation, and I wanted to come up here, and I'd been writing songs, for a couple of years, and I wanted to come play at the Bluebird Cafe, which is, famous for just launching great songwriters. And I came up here, and the Bluebird was closed because of Labor Day weekend, and so I was just like, well, I'll just go play down in the lobby of the hotel, and just see what, I'm like, it's Nashville, you never know. So I went down and started playing, and then I met one guy who led me to the other guy, who the next day I met Buddy Cannon, and it was amazing. The stars just aligned. So what happened was I met Buddy, and then after I met Buddy, I went and met with a guy over at Universal Music Group, Brian Wright, and then I went and met with a guy named Mark Wright. And then after that, the stars they all lined up, and started writing even more, and here we are today.
So, yeah.
Crazy.
So let me ask you this. Are you at heart a performer, or are you at heart a writer? Because I know you're doing a lot of writing.
That's a good question. I think for me, the writing came first, and then I think it was the performing that came next. So for me, it's kind of both. It's a hard question. For me, I love it. I've grown to love it equally.
Mhm. Mhm. So when you're writing songs, are you thinking, I'm writing this song for a specific artist, or I'm writing this one for me, or is it just
most of the time? Yeah, most of the time for me. That's what I'm constantly thinking. If another artist wants to cut it, like we've had several different interests from. And it's hard to let those songs go sometimes because they're like you call them your babies.
Right.
And so it's hard to let them go. But it's always an honor when another artist wants to cut your song. But when I'm writing, we usually write for a project that I'm working on. So.
Okay. All right. So you're what now? You're 17 now?
17. I got one more month and I'll be 18.
All right. I
cannot wait.
You'll be an adult then.
So nice. Yes.
So, from 14 to 17, you've kind of had a little bit of a whirlwind going on there. You're doing some performing and stuff, but you're already out there on some big stages. What do you think, next to meeting Buddy Cannon, where was there like this huge turning point for you where you actually sat back and went, holy crap, this is it. This is really happening. This is my path. This is what I need to do for the rest of my life.
I think it was, what I was going to do for the rest of my life, I knew I was going to do music actually from 3 or 4 years old. I knew I was going to do something in music.
Right.
I never thought it was going to be at this age. I'll take it, but I think the time when it really became real for me was when we finally got in the studio after we had been writing, and we got in the studio, and all of this creative side just came out, and it was that was probably the biggest moment where I was like, oh my gosh, I get to do this for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an amazing feeling when you're in a studio and you're seeing your song come to life. So
yeah.
I would say that's the biggest part.
Now, part of your bio and your description also said that your family actually picked up. The entire family moved from Louisiana to Nashville. Do I have that right?
Yeah. We moved here about I guess close to around 4 months ago. And it was certainly a change, but man, my family has backed me so much, and they love it up here in Tennessee also. So very, very blessed to have them supporting me.
Now you have some siblings. You have some younger.
I do. Yeah, I've got three other brothers.
Oh boy.
3 younger brothers, and the only I got the only girl in the house is mom and the dog. So it's I feel bad for them sometimes, but they do a good job. They're troopers. So
now, is any of the younger brothers like, hey, I want to be like you, I want to be your drummer, I want to be your guitar player, or are they not interested in music? Like, you've got 3 of them there. What's the balance between the 3 and what you're doing and what they're seeing? You doing your dream at the age of 17. Are they like going, oh, I want to do that? Or are they like, no, I want no part of that?
The 2 of them are like, no, I want nothing to do with that.
Oh, really? Okay.
And the other one, the other one's 7, and so I feel like he's picking up a little bit because he's kind of grown up around music, his whole life too, with me just constantly playing music, always, and so I feel like he's kind of taken a few of those genes and he's putting it into his drumming. He's 7, so he's got an incredible sense of rhythm. So I support them in whatever they want to be, but I certainly hope that the 7-year-old definitely wants to do something in music.
So when he gets to be 10 years down the line, 5 years down, hey, I want to be your drummer. Would you consider like, maybe I'm going to take my brother on the road with me?
There would be a lot of trouble going on. I'll just say that. So, I would love to have him on the road, but I think that would be the coolest thing. So if it does get to that point, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll let the family feud go on there, without delving into that too much. Maybe the dog would be easier. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
So you're out there though. You're getting to the point of where you are setting up stages and doing some performing out there. They're getting you out in front of some people and in front of some fans.
Yeah.
And what is the latest project you have going on that is something that you really are trying to promote at this point? At this point in your journey, what's the big thing that you guys are working on?
Well, right now, it's getting ready. It's downtime here in Nashville. We're just kind of winding down. Music Row's kind of slowly there's less and less people on Music Row. So right now we're really planning towards next year, getting touring ready to go, getting those dates ready, and then also releasing another song. We released this single, Let Me Help You With That, in October, and put it out on Spotify and iTunes, and it got put on the New Boots playlist, which is a massive playlist following on Spotify. And so right now that's at like 210,000 streams, which is great. And so now we're now looking towards releasing the next song.
Okay.
In January.
Well, let's just go back a second though and tell people a little bit more about the song, just in case they are unaware of the tune you released in October.
Yeah.
Now, is this a Penn tune from you?
This is, yes. This song I wrote with Monty Criswell, and I had this title for a while, and I'm a big sucker for piano ballads, and we wrote it on piano, and I just knew there was something very magical about the song. And then I took it to my producer, Buddy Cannon, and we got in the studio, and started recording it, and it just even became more magical. And the more and more we messed around with it, and the more and more we mixed it and got everything ready to go, the more and more it just felt like that's really who I am. It was for me. It was a no-brainer to release it as the first single because it was a perfect example of who I am.
Okay. Now, tell us the story though behind it. Like, it sounds like, is this an experience tune? Something that came from something you experienced, or how did the words come together for you?
Yeah, I grew up in a small town, Louisiana. I'm still growing up, but I grew up in a small town, Louisiana, where they had a supermarket, and constantly when you're coming out of a supermarket, you always hear, oh, let me help you with that, let me help you with that, and so I heard that phrase, and it really wasn't a personal story that happened, but I'm sure that it's happened to lots of people. And I love story songs too that kind of tell a story throughout the whole song. And so it didn't come from a personal experience, but I knew I wanted the song to go. I knew I had the story in mind and the phrase "Let me help you with that," and I knew I wanted to just tell a story of just being in the South and you running into your ex-girlfriend after, who knows, 1 or 2 years, and she kind of freaking out, and the cans falling out of the paper sack, and then you kind of saying, "Let me help you with that," and then from there it just kind of turns into this whole nostalgic relationship again.
Okay.
Sort of looking back, I guess.
Sure. All right. Well, listen, we're going to have to take a quick break here, Payton, and I think what we're going to do is take a break and come back with your tune. Can you hang on there for a few more minutes?
Absolutely.
All right. Awesome. We're speaking with Payton Smith. Now, you can find him at PaytonSmithMusic.com. We're going to talk a little bit more about what he is planning for 2018, how you can track him down, and how you can get your hands on his music when we come back after this break right here on Penn's Peak Radio and the Wall to Wall Country Show. Folks, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a bit. So back there you heard Payton Smith's single. Now, this he released back in October. So if you've been hearing it and you were like, who's that guy? I don't know that voice. That is Payton Smith. Now, you can find this guy at PaytonSmithMusic.com. Do I got that right, Payton?
You got it. You got it right.
Okay, and that's his tune, Let Me Help You With That. Pretty little ballad, little musicality in there. You can kind of follow along with it, and you're right, it tells a little story. Are people relating with that, going, wow, you just told my story, Are people reacting to it in that kind of way for you, Payton?
Yeah, it's been great to play these shows, and see people come afterwards and be like, that's my favorite song on, this playlist, that playlist, and that's my favorite song right now. And it's very cool to get that reaction to it, because it's definitely a risk to come out with a ballad.
Right.
And so I knew that going into it, but I like taking risks, and I knew that I was just like, I just want to come out with a ballad, that's who I am.
Right.
And so it's been very cool to see people connecting with it, and to see the numbers going up on it, and hopefully it'll keep going. So
now, setting a precedence by starting with a ballad, your next project, your next couple of projects, or when you're actually working on kind of maybe putting a whole album together, where is your mindset as far as, okay, you set a precedence here? Is it kind of a little scary to go, okay, I need to do something completely different and hopefully they'll follow along? Is that a little scary?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I struggle with that every day. It's like, you put out that thing and then you're like, okay, I don't want to go too far left to where it's just completely out of left field. You don't know, it's like the complete opposite of Let Me Help You With That.
Right.
You want to go too. It's like you want to meet in the middle. It's like you don't want to get, you don't want to have Let Me Help You With That, which is over here to the right, and then you got this other song that's over here to the left. It's kind of very, very different. So it's tough. We're picking out. We're in the process of picking out the next single right now, and it's right there, and we feel like we've got a few that's right down the middle.
Yeah.
Very up tempo. That'll be the last ballad we put out for a while, actually.
Okay.
The rest will be very up tempo and rocking and really guitar driven. So it's tough sometimes, but I feel like we're narrowing down the singles.
That's good.
Getting really close.
I mean,
so.
and I think that's something that artists struggle with. You want to show your versity, your versatility, that you can do this and you can do this, but you can't slap people in the face with it, because it might start them a little too much and go, where the heck did that, that came out of,
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's a fine line you're walking on, and you want to really, really pick the next tune that maybe handshakes with "Let me help you with that," rather than is
right.
A complete shake off the wall there. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's sort of when you're a new artist, you want to build your image, and you don't want to just release something that's like, oh, this is who I am, but I can also do this too, but it's all the way over here.
Yeah.
And the first thing was all the way over here, and it I know I'm thrown off when artists do that, new artists do that,
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying, is just to try and find that those first 3 or 4 singles that really match up.
Yeah, once you get 30 or 40 songs in the bag, then you can do whatever you want. But it's those.
Yeah, right, exactly.
It's those.
Exactly, that's what, It's tough, man. It's like you write all these songs, and usually it takes me a second to I have to live with these songs and figure out if they're me or not. But most of the time, as soon as I rock out of these co-writes or when I'm writing, I usually know whether or not I'm going to cut this song.
Okay.
If it's interesting. It's an interesting process. So.
Now, does your family, do you bounce things off of mom and dad and go, hey guys, what do you think of this one? Or are they kind of letting you do your own thing? Is there someone you're bouncing this stuff off? Because I think it's kind of with you, when you're in the box, you see what's in the box, but you need somebody who's outside the box to be able to go, dude, you are so off base on this one, or
right.
You know what I
exactly.
mean? So where do you find that?
Well, again, I'm a teenager, and so the goal is to get that college age and teenager that demographic, to enjoy the music. And I'll bounce it off of my mom and dad, but they're kind of like, man, you go wherever your heart's telling you, wherever you want to go musically.
Mm-hmm.
That's up to you. And so I bounce it off of them, but I bounce it off of a lot of girls.
Uh-huh.
Just because when you're writing, you want to make sure that they connect with it. But also at the same time, if it's love songs, I'll usually send it off to a few girls that I know and see what they think and get their opinion on it. And then if we'll write something that's really kind of rocking in your face, I'll send it off to a few buddies and see what they think about it. I try to bounce it off of everybody, especially if it's a new song.
Yeah.
Just to get their opinion on it.
Yeah, mom and dad going, yeah, follow your heart. That's great, mom, but come on, let's be a little realistic here. What do you think?
Right. I'm like, thanks, mom, but come on, does it suck or is it good?
Yeah. You can be honest with me, mom. If it sucks, tell me it sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure but that's probably hard for them too, because they want to see you succeed, and you're gonna be the person who understands the business maybe a little better. So, kudos for mom and dad for at least supporting you 100% there.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's awesome. So where can people find you, Payton? Are you on the social medias? Are you the guy that answers when people reach out? Tell us a little bit about how people can find you and what you're up to.
Yeah. So on, you guys can, I'm using mostly Instagram a lot. I'm a horrible tweeter, so I'll do the Twitter too sometimes too, I guess. But, on Instagram, you guys can find me at Payton Smith Music. Same thing on Facebook. And, on Twitter, it's at the Payton Smith. So those are the biggest social media things I'm using right now, so.
Okay. Well, we're going to make sure we reach out to you and like you and share your stuff with, our fan base here at Penn's Peak Radio.
Yeah. I appreciate it very much.
Now, you were talking, real quick, about some things going on in 2018. Is there an album in 2018, or are you just planning on just releasing a couple of singles and fill your way through it for a little while?
I think an album, I'd love to put out an album, but I think, it's always funny. We've recorded 3 times, and I think we're going to go back in and cut a few more songs in the studio. So I would say an album next year. It's a possibility, but again, it's a kind of a long shot. So there may be a few EPs next year. But definitely the next year, hopefully getting an album out. So.
All right, getting some touring under your belt for 2018. People can come and see you.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I tell you what. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. Is just you write these songs, you get them in the studio. And I think about it. The only other life that they're going to live, is they're on tracks, and the only life that they're going to live live is when you play them live. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, is getting these songs out and playing them live for people and seeing their reactions to it. So I'm really looking forward to that.
And people can find that information via your website at paytonsmithmusic.com, and check out the social medias. You're going to be putting, blasts and posts out about stuff like that coming up, things you got going on.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yep,
awesome.
all the tour dates will be up there very soon. So.
All right. Well, they want to keep an eye open for that for sure. Hey, and you know what, Payton? If you ever do find yourself on your tour and you're up here in PA, doors to Penn Speak Radio are always open to all my artists, so you'd be more than welcome to swing by. Just let me know you're coming. We'd love to have you in the studio.
Absolutely. I'd love to.
Awesome. And, hey, keep us in mind, too, when you got some new stuff going on in 2018, you're also always welcome back on the Wall to Wall Country Show as well. So stay on top of your PR people for that as well. We'd love to have you back and hear what you got going on. You're on fire, and we want to stay on top of it.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Anything else you want to throw out there to your listening audience there, Payton, before I cut you loose? I know you're a busy guy.
You know what? Just enjoy the rest of the year. I hope you guys relax and have a great holiday. Have a great holiday, and just enjoy the rest of the year. Relax, get some R&R, and I'm excited to see everybody out in 2018. It's going to be a blast.
Great, perfect. Thank you so much, Payton, and stay in touch, my friend, and we'll keep an eye on you on those social medias as well, and good luck with everything, my friend. Keep your head on straight. Hey, listen to your parents now. Be a good boy. But let us know when you have something new going on, my friend.
I will.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.